We're here at ASM Summer, where ASUS ROG CSGO tournament is taking place. The last day, 3 months left. Semmler, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Excited to be here as always. I don't know how many assemblies I've done now, like 4 or 5, something like that. So I wasn't able to be here for winter last time, but I'm glad to be back for summer.
Yeah. Okay, so basically the group stage took 2 days. What are your favorite moments from the group stage? Any surprises?
Not really. Well, Recursive, I think, was one of my favorite moments because that ended in like a double overtime match that was really sick. Yeah. Apart from that, it was good to see just like the teams that we expected to do well. Encore, you know, we really expected them to just make their way through the matches, not really have too much trouble, and they did so in pretty good fashion, like playing smart CS. And that's really what I want to see from one of the favorites, you know, coming into this tournament to take the whole thing, right? Nostalgia have given us some exciting games, which is pretty much what we expected from them. Kaylee, Schneider, you know, guys who are just putting on great performances, and that's really what they need to do to be able to get through this group stage. Menace is actually the team that they just faced right now in the quarterfinals, and that was much closer than I thought it would be. So I felt a bit torn there because Nostalgia, obviously, you know, great team, great players, but I also wanted to see Menace get far. So it's a shame that they ran into him first round like this in quarterfinals, and they couldn't quite make it through, but still, you know, it was a good performance from both teams.
So we're down to 4 teams: Encore, Nostalgia, My Revenge, and Recursive. Who do you think are going to make it to the finals?
Well, considering Encore and Nostalgia face in the semifinals, we're going to lose one of the major favorites going into this tournament to make it to the finals, basically. Because what we went into it thinking is, you know, Encore and Nostalgia, maybe Penta, you know, if they can put up a real good performance, are kind of like your top 3 going into this, really expecting them to go far, if not clash in the finals. But what we have here is almost like a Nip Titan sort of situation where Encore and Nostalgia are going to face in the semis. So I do think I put Encore a little bit ahead of Nostalgia in this case because Encore have the experience with Natsu, they have the experience as playing as a team, and they're not going to make some of the mistakes that some of the less experienced teams have made here that have given Nostalgia the way, you know, the means to take the wins. So I think Nostalgia are going to struggle a bit versus Encore, and I should expect to see Encore going through. The other match, Recursive versus My Revenge, is kind of up in the air. Recursive, I think, are playing really well right now, but so are My Revenge. So I think that's more of like a 50-50 toss-up as to who gets the right rounds under their belts to take the whole thing.
Okay. So you don't say we might see. Do we actually going to see finish final?
I think it would be, obviously it would be great, you know, to have a finish on finish, and I think it's actually likely. So I think Encore are going to take Nostalgia, and I think Recursive should take My Revenge, and we should have a finish on finish final.
So you've been asked something many times. How has the venue changed? Do you like it more here?
I like it. It's kind of like a mini DreamHack now, where you know, it's like I get this feeling, you know, because obviously I love DreamHack and I've been to all of the LANs over the past few years, but like DreamHack is my favorite, you know, just LAN flat out. And now Assembly with this new venue, it has that same feel. You know, you got all the exhibitor area and you know the place for the players to play, but you also have like this massive hall where it's just everybody there, all kitted out with their PCs. You can walk around and like check out some cool builds and all that sort of stuff too. So it's got that real vibe to it that it's really turned into a great LAN. Also, I'm glad that at least, you know, from a tournament perspective, you know, we have our place and we're going to stick to our place here. Yeah. We're not going to be moving around to a main stage or anything like that. We're going to be staying right here where everybody knows where to find us and everything runs right. So it's cool that tournaments are running smoothly, everything's gone well, and it seems like, you know, we've really filled out the event nicely.
You'll be casting along with Lurpis and Natsu, 2 of the maybe most famous CS players from Finland. Yeah. How has it been?
No, it's been great. It's funny with Lurpis because we used to not really get along until I got used to him, basically, and then I was like, oh yeah, cool, you know, it's all good. So Lurpis just knows, you know, Lurpis, you just have to understand that he is going to deliver everything in a very straight and succinct manner. He doesn't beat around the bush and flesh things out. He's really just like, yeah, okay, this is what happened, and that's why it was good or bad. And so you have to take that into account when you're going to cast to him, that you know, you're going to have to embellish things a little bit, right, and bring that kind of color so that Lurpis can just continue with his style and do what makes him feel comfortable. Natsu, you have a little bit more room to wiggle because Natsu plays a little bit more of the commentary game where he does embellish and he does explain a bit more. And so it's just 2 different styles, but they're both, I love casting with both of them, really. It's just nice to change it up a little bit, right, and get a little variety in there and get to work with real pros like Natsu and Lurpis. Not pro commentators, but still pros that have got the experience and have got commentary experience, which I think is really important. Because, you know, sometimes you go ahead and you just whack a pro up there and you expect them to be like an excellent commentator. But at the same time, you know, it's 2 different beasts, right? You may have the knowledge, but after that you have to know how to present it well to a stream. And actually, I actually think Natsu does a bit better job of that than Lurpus does. But you know, that's just from a commentary point of view. As far as the knowledge, they're both solid.
Okay. It's good to know that you have been having fun here.
Yeah,
so let's move to Room of Fire. It's our new project with Anders, basically NIP Gaming TV, but new brand. What's up with that? What's behind the name?
Oh, behind the name is about 3 months of us banging our heads on a desk and trying to come up with a new name. That was intensely frustrating, man. Towards the end, we basically got so fed up with it that we just made a list of all the names, and we were just literally throwing random names out there. Just anything that came into our minds. It was a brainstorming session. And then over the next few days, we just trimmed it until it came down to pretty much Room on Fire and another name that was called Midnight Express. But Midnight Express had like way too many negative connotations. So Room on Fire was like that is it. And there's like no, we don't. It's really grown on us. Like the name, it feels right and it feels good, and we're happy with how everything's gone. We're happy with our new logo as well. We feel like that's pretty much everything that we were thinking about going into it was now portrayed in our logo. So we're really happy with the new brand. The reason why we did it, obviously, is to have more freedom, to be able to do what we want, have our projects, work with the sponsors we want, just basically be able to do our own job and continue running the stream. Because running the stream, the way that we run the stream hasn't changed at all, really. We still cover all the games that we can. It's actually gone further now because now we actually have our own content with the King of the Hill, sponsored by Case King. Like that is, we were able to bring in our sponsor and bring something that's now ours, right? Our content. So that was like the big thing for us. It was like get our new brand, but also get our own content that then we can control and run and have fun with, rather than being reliant on everybody else for nearly all of our content that came out on the channel. So hopefully down the line, the plan is obviously to just continue to do that, try and keep pushing to be able to get more of our own content, get a bit of a variety to it, and really just try and make it so that there's as much CS as possible on Room on Fire.
Yeah. It's good to hear that you're excited with the Room on Fire. It's a great project, and I love the stream always. It's good to hear you understand where they're going.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What about the ESL1? It's coming up. What is your favorite thing? Groups were just released, I think, yesterday, and they look amazing.
They do.
Who do you think is the favorite going to the tournament? What do you expect from the tournament?
I expect a bloodbath. Looking at those groups yesterday, I was just like clapping my hands together and shouting, and just those groups give us everything we want. Basically, it's like we can clearly see 16 amazing teams are here, and the groups are going to be so tight. There is at least like 3 of those teams should get out of those groups, right?
Yeah, I agree.
That's the thing. At least 3 of those groups there. Group, I believe it was B, looks a little bit more clear cut as far as like who's the favorite and who's not. But 3 of those groups, it's really hard to actually call who's going to come out of it. So that alone right there, I'm really excited because we actually have really solid groups going into it. It's going to be exciting games right from the start because it's a double elimination format as well, which is good. But I mean, it's the common way to go about it now. But the way the G3 are running it right now is a bit more interesting because you have like the round robin format. There's more games for the team, so you can see really like how it pans out and who's really in the top shape. The GSL format, or the double elimination format in the group stage, you can have those sort of situations where it's like you lose twice and you're done. And well, that is the situation, basically double elimination, right? So it's a bit brutal. It's really just gonna be brutal. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Like I have no idea how to call it. And even like the favorites that we should expect to get out of the groups, like NIP, who do step it up when it gets tough. Like I expect NIP to make it out, but they could not make it out. Like Hellraisers are in that group. And we saw how much trouble NIP had versus Hellraisers in the DreamHack Summer Finals, or semifinals rather, and that was a best of 3. This is a best of 1. NIP could lose that match, right? In a best of 1 map, anything can happen, and Hellraisers are way too close to comfort to NIP. There's only 2 weeks of preparation going into this right now, and NIP are looking a little bit shaky to me. So that extended vacation that they had, I think is maybe coming back to bite them because they have to put some serious work in and get back up to that level where they're going to be able to just assure their dominance. So I don't even think, like, usually what I would have said is, like, I expect NIP to take it, the whole thing, because, they've gone to the finals every time. I really expect NIP to take it. But everybody has been working so hard that it really is way too close to call right now. It's really tough.
I just got excited by your answer. But yeah, we're actually running out of time because we need to go casting. So do you have any final words?
Of course, big thanks to everybody who's been supporting us at the channel, that everybody that tunes in and enjoys the casting, and whether you enjoy it or not, basically, give the feedback and let us know what's up. But big thanks to everybody who's been supporting us. Really, we do heavily rely on everybody who tunes into the channel and who's part of our community, and it really goes a long way. So, can't say thanks enough. And yeah, it's just we'll see you guys around. Thanks again.
Okay. Thank you.